Hello guys, another quick one. It's a continuation from the last video. So as much as it can help whoever it reaches, that's my goal. Okay. So basically, the subject for this discussion is about support roles in relationships. So the reason for this selection of this subject is primarily because I think um, people need to understand that in a relationship, just as much as every other aspect of life, like studying, working, whatever it is, business, it's good to clarify the expectations and the roles of each different entity, individual in that relationship. It helps to avoid disappointment and to properly align and then measure out and assess the kind of expectations that will follow from every interaction or relationship. Basically, there are two types of roles. There could be more, but from my understanding, my experience, my observation, there are mainly two roles in a relationship. So when I say in a relationship, romantic relationship, so it could be relationship as in courtship, dating, or an actual marital relationship. So whichever form it is, either or both, it's fine. It encompasses, it classifies the relationship that we're discussing in this video. The first one is the first type of role would be the the building role. I call it the development role. Okay, this role again, as usual, this role can be taken on by either the woman or the man. Okay, it doesn't really matter who takes the role of development, or it could be taken or by both the male and the female. So by the husband, by the wife, by the boyfriend, by the girlfriend. So anyone can fit into this category. But basically, what we're discussing is the substance of the role. It's what the role really entails. The development role is this role where one or more parties, individuals in that relationship, are responsible for driving that relationship. And the key word there is driving. Driving in this sense really means responsible for oxygenating that relationship. You think about it as what a relationship really needs to survive. Okay, so let's take the marital sense of a relationship. You will all agree with me that without finances, most relationships will struggle. Like in the previous video, without trust, most relationships would struggle. Without communication, most relationships will struggle. And again, I want to add the fourth one: without time together, most relationships could struggle. Could struggle. Not necessarily as a must, but it's essential. So these are the oxygen of a relationship. Okay, respect is part of it. It comes as a result of, I assume respect is a natural phenomenon of a relationship. But anyway, this four are the core. So back to the development aspect. The development aspect is whereby one party is weak in any of these areas I just mentioned. Okay, and or has issues in any of these areas I just mentioned. So one party is responsible for developing these aspects of that relationship, or one party is more dominant in these aspects of the relationship. So that person is developing the relationship while the other person is following along. So we term this, or I term this, the leading and the following, leadership and follow aspect of a relationship. So again, it could be either the male or the female. So it doesn't really matter. And then the second one, support role of relationship. The second aspect is the support role of a relationship. So support is different from building or developing. The support role is where the builder or the developer is performing the functions just mentioned above, while the supporter is mainly assembling the bricks to align with the purpose of the developer. So predominantly, most women fall into this category of building a family, bringing up children, looking after the house, caring for the family, cooking, maybe just traditional roles. But men could also take this, okay? This is what I call support roles. And without these support roles, the relationship cannot really move forward as expected. Okay, somebody needs to do some of those things. But again, these support roles could be split equally between both couples. Doesn't really matter. The proper aspect or discussion for this video is mainly on the role differences. That's all. Okay, so when you are going into a relationship, it's very important to understand who will perform the development role and the support role. Traditionally, in terms of finances, some men are expected to perform the leadership, the building and development role, while women could perform the support role. But things are changing with education, exposure, and more civilization and modernism. You will see that these roles are being interchanged. So any party can adopt any of these roles. But without the expectation of who will perform these roles, how long these roles will be performed by each of these parties, individuals, there will be confusion when the relationship evolves, because you will see that even though it's agreed that maybe the man will perform the role of financing, but the expectation within that role could be different. So, for example, if you're expecting the man to perform the role of financing, but financing covers what? Financing of the home, education, feeding, basic necessities, that's also financing. But when it comes to financing of non-necessities, like maybe luxurious lifestyle, that's also financing as well. So at what point do you draw the gap to say this is what you can afford in terms of financing or what you cannot afford? That's one for development role and building. Now let's take it to the support role. In terms of supporting, what is the limit or the extent to which the support can be provided? So again, traditionally, in some settings, some cultures, females, the women perform the traditional housekeeping roles, but sometimes this could be exhausting for the person, and then you expect the person to keep pushing until the person breaks down. So where is the line between where you cannot exceed and where you must tread slightly across? So these are things that has to be discussed at the onset of a relationship, and these expectations have to be managed. So it has to be communicated, it has to be managed, and most importantly, the third aspect is either of these parties should be willing and open to switch on each of these different support roles. So for example, when the woman is exhausted from house chores, the man should be willing to support. So that's an interchange of roles. Or the woman should be willing, when the man is maybe not financially capable, the other party should be willing to contribute, may not necessarily to lead. Okay, so these two interchangeable aspects of relationship are very important to sustainability of that relationship. So it's an aspect of, I'm willing to adopt the role of the other individual to an extent that my capability allows, and the other individual is willing to adopt my role to the extent that they can afford to. So think about this, and as you build a relationship, I wish you the best, and continue to stay strong and stay positive. Until next time, it's ciao. Bye.